Hey Patreon. So as you can tell, I am working inside of the new addition. I've been putting in some insulation. I haven't got it tacked up yet, but I've been cutting it and stuffing it. And you know how things go when you're doing these kind of projects. I'm not as far along as I want to be. Seems like every day this week that I have set aside time to okay, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna knock out the insulation in that room. Something else happens, right? And so today I set aside plenty of time, and a bunch of other stuff has gone on. Nothing major, but it just cuts into time, and well, now I'm, don't have as much time as I hoped to get this done. Maybe I'll get it knocked out. I should get the walls and some of the ceiling knocked out today, but we'll see. Anyways, sorry, my throat's a little raspy. I don't have a specific thing to talk about, but there's a lot going on. We talk about it all the time. Have you noticed how my wife and I were talking the other day? We went out to town, and and most of you know this, when I talk about going to town, we're talking about a small town. The town that we do most of our business in has less than 3,000 people in it. And then there's a bigger town that we occasionally go to. It has a Lowe's. So if I need something that only Lowe's has, or it's just a lot cheaper there, we'll go there. And that town's less than 20,000. So, we're talking small towns. And we were talking the other day about how it's getting this feeling like this zombie kind of feeling. I don't know exactly how to describe it. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about. This, like everyone has just become drones. I think personally, my wife and I have talked about this. I think people are they're wore out. For those out there that celebrate Christmas, we don't celebrate Christmas, and I know that some of you don't. Some of you do, that's fine. But regardless of whether you celebrate it or not, it is a big time of the year for a lot of people. And the reality is, for a lot of people, this is going to be a pretty sad Christmas. And just holiday season. Their money, a lot of people don't have the money they did. Some people don't have their jobs. Some people have been, evicted from their homes and maybe know that in the coming weeks they will be evicted from their homes. I was reading somewhere, it was something like 60% of the American, 50 to 60%, I can't remember the exact number, but it was in the neighborhood of half, of Americans are at least $5,000 behind on their rent, people that rent. And that's quite a bit. And the eviction moratorium ends, I believe it's December 31st. So how many of those people are going to be without a home? So everyone's just kind of, you can just tell it. And then on top of that, everyone's wearing masks. And I'm not going to make an issue here whether they work or not. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. The fact is that it takes away some humanity. In the past, in my life, you go out in public and you see someone and you smile at them. And I'm the kind of person that if you seem nice and seem safe and everything, I'll smile at you, if you seem like a threat, I may give you the, I'm watching you kind of look. But either way, I'm expressive in my face, and most people are. People can't see that anymore. And there's this deep divide in our country over many, many things. But one of them certainly are these masks. You go out in public and the people that aren't wearing masks look at the people that are wearing them like, oh, you're one of those. You think those things actually work. And the people that are wearing masks look at the people that aren't and like, oh, you may have some kind of disease, and how dare you? Don't you care about me? Don't you care about my family? And it's back and forth. And even though those words may not be said, there's just this feeling under the surface that you can feel. There's this tension growing. And it's almost like we're already in a Great Depression, but it's not an economic depression yet. It's almost like it's a big emotional depression already. I read the other day some high school student committed suicide. He was on the football team and big football star, and he committed suicide because his school had been shut down for months. He said he hadn't seen his friends, couldn't play his game, most likely wasn't going to get any big scholarships or anything because his senior year, he was missing playing, and he gave up. And I'm not a sports fanatic at all. I don't mind playing sports, but I don't watch professional sports. I just don't have any use for it. But some people, that is important to them, especially, kids in college, high school. And as you all know, that, you have a lot better odds of making it to the pros if you do really good in high school, especially your senior year. You get noticed by a college, you get a scholarship to go to that college, and then you get noticed in college by the professionals. What about all these kids that, they're not playing their senior year? Kind of a rough road for them. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot. And I don't know about you, but I can sense it already. Even in my area where, and maybe I've been isolated. I was actually thinking about this. For instance, the mask thing. I have seen people wearing masks here since the beginning of this. But I would guess, and this is just me guessing, that up until a couple of months ago, it was maybe only 20% of the population. And then starting about a couple of months ago, really when the second wave first started kicking in, it's been increasing. And now, even out here in this very, very red state, and very, very, very red part of the red state. I mean, the reddest part of the red state. Out here, Democrats almost don't even run for office, like the local sheriff's office and the county commission. It's just, the only real race is the Republican primary. It's common. It's just Republicans, that's it. Very pro-Trump. And even out here, if you're not wearing a mask, you are the small minority. Went to a big store the other day, and the place was full of people. It's Christmas season, buying food, buying gifts and stuff, and there couldn't have been more than 10 people in that store that didn't have a mask. No one's being forced to wear one around here. The point is not the masks. Again, it's almost a moot point at this, where we're at right now. People are getting tired of it. They're tired, already the fire is already kind of burned out over the election stuff. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, is to wear people down. I believe it is. Not just the election, but everything. Trying to wear us down, trying to desensitize us. Get us to the point that we're not fazed by the next big boom that hits. I don't know if you would agree with this. It doesn't really matter, because the point is just the point of the story. I remember way back when I was a kid, this old-timey preacher was speaking out a lot against TV and movies, especially anything that has like scary monsters and demons and stuff in them. And we don't allow our kids to watch that kind of stuff anyways. But he said, this is desensitizing people. He said, they're getting to where, this grotesque and demonic and monsters and stuff isn't scary. And so when something like that comes through their life, they're not afraid of it. It's kind of what seems that's going on right now. The next biggest thing, the next biggest boom, the economy completely crashing, banks closing down, war with China, World War III, or something crazy, you know, global alliance against an extraterrestrial invasion, you know, brought to you by Blue Beam or something crazy like that. And but in the end, the people are just, I think we're wore out. Everyone's wore out. I try to just focus on what I'm doing around here, this kind of stuff. And as much as I can on making videos, it's tough because it's like, my goodness, it feels like I'm just saying the same stuff every day. Oh, the end is near, the sky is falling, prep up, buy more food, stock up. It's like, how many times can I tell people to stock up? Oh, I'm not saying I'm giving up. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, I think in the end, that's part, not the only, but that's part of it. I think it is, to wear everyone down, where we're just tired of it. You know, it's like, get it over with. Just rip the Band-Aid off. I don't care how bad it is, just get it over with. We want life to go back to normal. And what they don't realize is life isn't going back to normal. So, you know, when I've talked on this channel about mindset, and I refer to it as kind of a combat mindset, getting your mind ready for battle. And I believe that is a good analogy, and I believe that works well. But part of that mindset is to condition yourself so that you're not tired. You need breaks. Sometimes you just need to do something just fun. There's days that you need to not watch one of my videos. Days that you just turn it off. You don't look at Twitter, you don't look at Parler, you don't look at, you know, Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is that you get on and find out the latest stuff. And if you do, just put something fun on. Do something fun with the family. You know, go on a drive. Do something. Because the stress is sometimes the worst killer. You know what? It lowers your immunity system. And so we can't allow that to happen. And that's definitely a preparedness tip. That's something that we need to be doing as preppers, is knowing when that we need a break, knowing when we need to, you know, decompress and to switch gears and to, you know, get out of that tunnel vision to something that is just a different, whatever it is, different. And because it saves our sanity. And maybe we can retain our humanity while we're doing it and along this ride, because I think that's part of it. I mean, if you look at all this transhuman stuff that they're talking about, of we're not, you know, they don't want us to be quite as human as we once were. I think part of it is, you know, getting us to where we don't feel human, where we don't act and behave human anymore. We have to retain that. We have to not allow ourselves to go down that path. So, as much as crazy as things are, and all you're seeing is people walking around with masks on, and, you know, it may seem down, and you're not seeing your family. Maybe that's the case. Some of you, you know, you're under these restrictions where you can't see your family, and grandma can't come over, and all that kind of stuff. Like I've said in the past, we're still going to win this. We know the end of the story. We know the end of the book. We know how it ends. And we can't allow ourselves to fall victim to their game. And that's what this is in the end. It's all a big game. You know, have you guys ever watched that movie, Men in Black? Men in Black. And remember at the end, it was these humongous alien beings, and the galaxy was actually little marbles, okay? These little marbles. And all it was these big aliens, and they were wanting to get the galaxy because all the galaxy was a little marble. and they were fighting over it. There was this big war, and in the end, all it was is so the aliens could sit there and play their little marbles with each galaxy. I believe that's a really good analogy with these elites and these people that are making decisions for you and controlling your life and guiding and shifting the course of human events and all this kind of stuff. To them, I think it's just a game. You know, they don't care about you and I. Oh, they may get up there on their podiums, and these business corporate leaders and these politicians and these, people that, donate billions of dollars and stuff, and they're doing this for the hungry children and for the starving people in Africa and those people that out in the cold in the wintertime. They don't care about you. This is a big game, and so we have to remember that it's just a big game. And all we have is each other, not them. We don't have them to depend on. We have to depend on each other. And no matter what we're going through that's crazy and what they're throwing at us, I think it's only begun. I have a feeling it's going to get a lot worse, folks. So buckle up. And in the end, we still have each other, and we have a Father in heaven that we know. We know He's in control, and we know He's the one that's going to be victorious. So don't lose hope, and don't lose your humanity, and you may feel down and depressed sometimes, but don't let it get to you as much as you can. All right, folks. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.